Borderlands 3, we're on Xbox Series X. The game is indeed optimized. We're getting a native 4K resolution at 60 FPS with HDR support, and it does actually still have resolution options, which is kind of interesting. So we're going to be showing that off in just a sec here. So it still has the two visual choices where you can do performance or you can do resolution. So basically, I guess the performance, the idea is it's going to give you the more stable FPS as opposed to the resolution mode where it's more likely going to try to favor the actual resolution quality while still providing a really smooth and fast-paced sort of experience that we are hoping to have with this game. So yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing to keep in mind. And also, again, we do have new options with this next-gen feature. So that includes the ability to do a vertical split for split screen, and we can have more split screen friends jump in. So that's kind of nice. And I think with that, we should fast travel to Pandora in order to show off a little bit of the land in action, because obviously you're going to want to see how everything is running and how everything is loading in the game, because that's part of what these modern day reviews are for these console platforms. Anyways, if you're not familiar with Borderlands, it's a wondrous series where you are doing shooting and looting. It's a looter, shooter, shooter, looter. You're going around trying to find bazillions of guns and improving your characters. There's different classes and abilities and weapons and tools and gear, and every class has like subclasses, and the different characters keep getting, I guess, advanced and added to. And yeah, there's a lot in this game. A lot of content, a lot of things you can do. I'm going to show off a vehicle because this is usually a decent sort of performance test for the game. That's always been the case across the Borderlands titles. But yeah, it's just kind of a fun game where you get not only the landscape of Pandora. So in the past, the Borderlands games have allowed you to basically just be on Pandora. Those were the scope of the experience. I mean, they did get a little bit more technically fancy. I mean, there's like the pre-sequel and some off missions, but largely based on just Pandora. It's the home of the series, and it's the one that kind of, you know, where the heart is. But this one expands the scope of things. It's no longer just Pandora. It's a whole like solar system that you get to travel across, and it's really quite interesting as you know, battle different new creatures, take on these kind of twins. It's sort of like a play, I guess, on the social media type thing where these influenced individuals are sort of super powerful and everybody follows them, and you're basically working to take them down during the scope of the campaign. And you know, you can play this if you've never played a Borderlands game before. You'll fit right in enjoying what this has to offer. But I do suggest playing the other Borderlands games as well. They're great. I remember playing the first Borderlands back in the day, and basically, like, I was renting it. I know, right? Renting something? Wild in this day and age. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I rented it, and then as soon as I took it back, I went out and bought the game because I found it so great. I really did love this one. And then Borderlands 2 obviously expanded the scope of the series considerably. You know, added a lot of new kind of content, a deeper narrative. And if you can play the Tiny Tina, like Assault on Dragon's Keep or whatever it is, I highly suggest doing so. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons thing, but it's got like this deeper emotional hook to it, which I find really, really well done. Definitely a little bit of a fascinating take on those characters, especially since it's like an aftermath of what happens in the game. If you know what I'm talking about, you'll get what I mean. But for new players, you'll probably be like, huh? And that's the good thing, because I want to keep things relatively spoiler free. But yeah, there's just a wealth of characters and things you can do and places you can go to and explore, and there's side quests, and there's hidden secrets and lore and collectibles and audio tapes and people to meet, NPCs to engage with, weird quirky situations to have, lots of deaths, weird hilarity. I don't know if the The humor quite hits the same mark as it did for me when I was younger, but I still find these games to be largely enjoyable. It really is sort of an enchanting time for me. I like playing the Borderlands games. They're just exciting. You never know what kind of new loot you're going to get, what sort of creature you're going to come across, the individuals you're going to fight, and then also, you got that co-op angle, which is now even more better locally, and of course the traditional online where you can play with your friends. It's kind of really awesome. And there's just so many weird, over-the-top, insane sorts of things that you can do in this game. It really does, offer a lot of content, a lot of unique locations, so many memorable moments that you can have as you improve your characters and you battle it out and you take on different creatures. So the reason we're here is because this planet is a bit more technically demanding than some of the other ones. It just kind of will push things a little bit more, which is a good challenge, I think. Is that fair to say? It's a good challenge for things, just to kind of see how it's running and everything like that, because that's the point of what we're doing. But yeah, Borderlands 3 is just such a great time that really does take the concepts, and it was a long-awaited game. Like, it was a long wait between the last one and this release in the series. But yeah, I think it was worth it for the most part, at least in my opinion. Ooh. Oh, my inventory is full. That's probably not that great. Well, it is glowing with like a gold sign of the heavens. I do find that kind of strangely enticing. My backpack is full. I've got all this stuff that like is crowding up my inventory. See, I think that's even better than what's on the ground there. I don't know. You can throw that away. Usually I grab a lot of stuff and then I can buy things, and inventory is full. I guess for weapons it's full. Yeah, I don't really find that enticing, but it's got this glow and aurora around it. It's just like it's calling to me. Maybe it's something special and I'm being an idiot and missing it, but it is what it is. But yeah, the game's got a lot of humor, a lot of weird, over-the-top moments. Like, it definitely does not take itself seriously, despite the material in it being perhaps quite serious in terms of the themes and stuff that it kind of covers. There's a lot of growth in the characters too. If you're coming back from, oh wow. If you're coming back from a different game, Borderlands 2, you're going to be like, whoa, there's a lot of changes in the characters and the world and the environment. Oh, it's resisting too. Okay, let's see what we got here. What else we have? Okay, this thing. Alright, now I gotta fight for my life or I get knocked out of the game, but yeah, we got the second win for killing that thing. Whew! That was a little terrifying. Thank you, little drone thing. I think it helped quite a bit. But yeah, it's just a really interesting sort of expansive world. I really need to clean out my inventory. You get so much loot and stuff that you just, like, totally don't even know what to do with yourself. I think that's also kind of part of the fun of the experience, is like gathering that loot and then having to deal with the loot, like most RPG games are. They play around with the open world element kind of well, because it's not necessarily a true open world. Like, you could go through large areas, but it's very much like segmented hub sections, and it just works very well for what Borderlands is. I think it's an experience that many people absolutely have adored over the years. It's a very well loved series that does a lot. Like, this really lowers the resolution quite a bit, but it does help a lot in regards to really making sure it's smooth. But I don't know, I don't mind the other mode either. It's a lot more different than it was on the 1X, needless to say. It's a big improvement there, that's for sure. Yeah, like, this still feels really good, but you can tell the occasional like dip here or there when things get really intense. But yeah, it's just kind of a fun game. Oh, and there's all these challenges and tokens that can improve your character more, and lots of different things you can fight with and battle with weird arena type things and situations that can come up. you're never quite sure what's gonna happen or what you're gonna have to deal with next as you explore like this really large set of locations. They have some truly massive spots that you can go to. Is this thing gonna respawn here? I think it did. Yeah, it did. Okay, good. Because I did this earlier. It's like my latest take on this. But yeah, just like weird bosses, weird creatures, weird enemies. And then the game goes further than just the story. There's like different events that take place, different things and challenges you can do over the course of the game. And then on top of that, there's all these really great expansions. I think I played 2 or 3 of them. There was one with an intense wedding and zombies, and there was another one where it's like the Old West. I don't know if I played through that one. And then there was another one. I'm trying to think of. Oh wow, this gun is awesome. Really, really cool. There's so many guns. There's like guns that like shoot guns and guns that like blast off things and become turrets. And yeah, it's kind of a little bit wild there. Jeez. Oh, and then there's the Handsome Jack one. That's also part of our little tour that we're doing here. Look at that thing kind of explode. We should probably do that now. I'm just trying to show off a few really interesting planets and locations so you get an idea of really what the game has to offer, which is kind of cool because there's so many unique locations, and then you get on top of that all these weird places. Oh, why does it keep doing that? The Handsome Jack area. Grand opening. I think we want to go there. Yes. This is the area that I want to take us to. Again, showing the improved loading, which helps a lot. It definitely makes it a little bit easier to go between segments, and that is something I most definitely appreciate a lot because it's not like the game has an insane amount of loading to it, but it's definitely like to the point where you have spent a good portion of time loading. So yeah, it's just these nice little improvements that sort of make the experience that much better, right? That's what it's all about, is just a better time, a better looking game, and a great game too. I mean, they really did sort of enhance the unique art style that this series has in many ways here. Are they kind of like guitaring with their guns? That's cool. You know, so many different enemies and bosses and friendly characters, familiar faces, new faces, things, well, faces you'll shoot off that you'll never see again because you destroyed them. It's just weird stuff like that. And then, you know, not only is the main story like really quite long, impressively long, there's also just so many side things you can do, those extra expansions, and then it seems like there's even more expansions and stuff planned in the future. So it's neat that they're going to kind of take things further, I guess you could say. Yeah, this just like really does look a little bit better, a little bit more kind of fluid in how you're dealing with stuff, which is kind of neat. And so we could also again show off the switch to performance. What are you doing, bandits? Get out of here. Blasting and stuff. Keep in mind, oh yeah, the fire gun, that's always fun. Keep in mind, it's usually a little bit tougher. There's like different, like I'm pretty overpowered for this area. There's a lot of different tiers and difficulties you can do. You can basically do like second playthroughs or playthrough pluses, and yeah, they're kind of fun in how they challenge you. So you'll also notice that a lot of Handsome Jack type things. So if you're not familiar with the world of Borderlands, Handsome Jack is like a pretty iconic character. And in this one, it's a little bit like, I don't know, I kind of wish they would try to move on a little bit more, if that makes sense. Like, I like the character. I think he's very well done, very dynamic, very interesting. Definitely was a great individual in Borderlands 2, and then the pre-sequel, and then this DLC is kind of there. It's just kind of like there's a big shadow of the character, and they haven't been able to necessarily escape it and do anything too necessarily new, which is a bit disappointing because this has been a game where it's like, it's such an expansive universe that you could do so many things with, and they just really keep coming back to this character. I don't hate it, but at the same time I'm like, kind of tired of it. I'd like to see more different things shown. You know, I like this area. I like the vault, or not the vault, but the heist thing that you're doing in this one. But it's just like handsome Jack, and you can't escape handsome Jack. He's over there, he's over here. It's like, come on, you know? There's lots of other people out in the universe. There's gotta be. But, yeah, definitely a very interesting character. Perhaps one of the most intriguing in gaming, actually. As odd as that sounds, and I'm leaving out certain bits because I like well, I want to leave the surprise in case you've never, again, played a Borderlands title. You'll be like, oh, interesting to see how that character is introduced and used. Like, this one, again, is about the twins and then, like, the legacy of the series and the characters as they battle, and, you know, we've got the main squad that's still left, and it's not a series that is shy from, you know, really pulling the emotional trigger with some of the characters too, and I think that's kind of fun, is that it doesn't really hold back, which is kind of cool. So there's another area I want to show that I think is kind of a visually enticing sort of experience. It's not really a large area, but it is one that definitely has some great visual aesthetics and elements to it that I think are particularly charming and interesting. So that is Athena's. It's like an off mission almost. Like it's decently long to go through, but it's not like the other parts of the world of Borderlands, because you kind of go through it and then you're mostly finished here. There's not like sprawling outside areas to the degree that the other maps had, but it doesn't really need it. I mean, you get the point of what it is. It's a pretty lovely place, and I think the art style of the game best comes out here. At least in my opinion, it just kind of really, the usage of light and design in this one are quite lovely. They really do hit the mark in terms of being very well used, and then like a little bit of destruction in the environment too. It's just a very neat spot, because here you're kind of pushing to open like doors through like bell stuff. And, yeah, it's kind of just like a fun, interesting time. So many creatures in this game to like blast it. It is ridiculous. But yeah, you can just play this for hours, and it's better with a group of people. If you can find friends or randoms, it's a lot easier now. When I was reviewing it, there's like not too many people working through it at the pace I was working through to cover it, and that's just kind of how it goes. But yeah, it's great to see like an optimization for this game. I mean, I was kind of expecting it, but at the same time, it's still like such a treat to actually witness this upgrade to it. Jump in here, see what it has to offer. Because it is, you know, it's a really good game. It's a favorite series of mine. I'll probably do the other ones too, because, I don't know, they're enchanting and full of weird humor and quirky moments, and I'm anxious to see kind of the upgrades. Because for this one, before they released it, they did a whole host of upgrades to the other entries in the series. At least I think it was beforehand. Might be getting those dates mixed up, but we had like the original game, which again, not even close in complexity compared to these ones. That one basically got like a complete upgrade sort of overhaul, which was nice. And then the second one got cleaned up a bit. Well, I guess the second one was part of like the Handsome collection, so that one, you know, overall got a little bit of an improvement. So that was nice too. It's good that they actually seem to really care about the legacy and the longevity of the series by making sure that the games keep looking good. It would be cool if those ones could be upgraded further. I'm not really sure what they could do though, because I think those were pretty much maxing things out to a degree, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, just a bit of a treat, this series. It's definitely something that is fun and engaging and a little bit unique, that's for sure, as you blast away individuals. Oh, he's tough. Yeah, there's some tougher guys out there too, and they kind of explode as you pulp-eyes them and stuff. It's not even a word, but turn them to pulp-eyes? I think it's a fair thing. So many collectibles, so many things to do, funny moments, hilarious hijinks, stories, entertaining tales from the Borderlands. See what I did there? If you're a fan, you should know that from the series. Tales from the Borderlands? Yeah, okay. Anyways, it's a franchise that continues to grow, delight, brings a twisted, destroyed, messed up society, and it's a society that is fun to run through and basically destroy and decimate everything in your path, because you're looking for the vaults. You're a vault hunter. That's just part of the job. Getting out there, getting that loot, finding those resources, and having a lovely time along the way.